everyone, welcome to TTV News with some last event in Tay Ninh province, and now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, on May 23, 2021, the election of deputies for the 15th National Assembly and People Council at all levels, term 2021-2026, is taking place. The Election Commission of the province, districts, town and the city have basically completed its own preparation for the Rig Festival of the whole people. Tay Ninh voters joyfully welcome the festival to elect the right deputy to the elected office.
According to Mr. Trung Văn Dễ, Deputy Chief Inspector of Tay Ninh Province, by May the 20th, the province has issued voter cards reaching nearly 95%. However, the number of voters has not been issued because voters work far away, absent from their homes in the localities, and do not have a contact point for information. The Election Committee of Districts, Town and City election teams continue to review and update the list of voters, and for over 57,000 voters who work far away and cannot be contacted, the authorities of localities are still trying to contact them to issue voter cards and recall voters' wishes about their where to go to vote. Under the direction of the provincial election committees, subcommittees and district-level election committees review and update the list and deliver voter cards in the context of COVID-19 pandemic prevention and control. Currently, the self-governing resident groups are issuing voter cards with medical declarations for voters who declare their health when they arrive at the polling stations to comply with the regulation and COVID-19 pandemic prevention and control, ensuring safety and security for voters and those serving election work. Trang Bang town has issued voter cards for over 98% and completed the material facilities serving the election. The polling stations are decorated solemnly. The whole town has about 110 polling stations. The election committees of the town, communes, and wards have assigned the responsibilities to members of the election teams in the polling station, implemented training for constituencies, completed the delivery of medical declaration to voters along with voter cards. The election committee of Trang Bang town has prepared 10 extra ballot boxes to ensure that, in case of there is an isolation area on election day, the town health center is equipped with 2 ultraviolet disinfection machines in case there is an isolation area for voting. At the same time, a permanent emergency team was established to save the election work.
From the mobilization funds of union members and employees to share difficulties and encourage the forces on duty to prevent and control the COVID-19 epidemic in the province, the Labor Union of Tay Ninh Province has organized a delegation to visit, offer gifts, and encourage officials, soldiers, and civil servants and public employees on duty at medical units and isolation area in the province. Joining the delegation, there were Mr. Phạm Hùng Thái, Standing Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee.
The delegation visited officials and soldiers who are on duty on quarantine control and prevention of illegal border crossing areas at Mộc International Border Gate, Bến Cầu District, such as Mộc Border Gate Customs Sub-Departments, Border Guard Checkpoints, and International Medical Quarantine Center of Mộc Border Gate, as well as the medical staff on duty to treat COVID-19 infected cases at Bến Cầu District Health Center. At the same time, the delegation also visited forces on duty in their isolation areas. At each destination, Mr. Phạm Hùng Thái visited, encouraged and appreciated the contributions of the forces on duty to prevent and control of the COVID-19 pandemic for day and night, contributing to detecting and preventing epidemic from spreading into the community. During this visit, the delegation, as well as leader of provincial party committee, presented the gifts of cards and necessary to the forces on duty at 8 units with a total value of 450 million Vietnam dong. Each unit is awarded from 50 to 70 million Vietnam dong in cards, and it is the funding from the trade union financial source and mobilizing contributions and support of trade union members and agencies, units, and enterprises in the province. And ladies and gentlemen, the Vietnam Ministry of Industry and Trade data showed that in the first quarter of 2021, the export value of Vietnamese footwear grew to 30.5% compared with the same period last year, reaching about $4.74 billion. The Vietnamese leather and footwear sector is taking advantage of free trade agreements FTAs to boost exports. Leather and footwear accounts for 40% of Vietnam export to the EU market. However, while the FTA companies have made good use of FTA preferences to boost exports, most domestic businesses fail to do this due to their inability to certify materials' route of origin. The trend of relocating manufacturing facilities from China and elsewhere remains strong. Fueled by perceived risk of concentrating production in one single country, Vietnam is considered as a safe destination due to political stability, a skilled workforce, and effective epidemic control. The Vietnamese leather and footwear sector is expected to draw new orders resulting from the shift from manufacturing facilities for major brands. However, domestic companies will not benefit from this growth in order if they do not improve their capacities. And in order to promptly remove difficulties, reduce inventories for the production, business, and consumption of agricultural products in many localities due to the new and complicated developments of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country and in the world, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development will conduct trade promotion activities to help localities enhance their consumption for agricultural products using online forms. In addition, the ministry has coordinated with the trade and diplomacy agencies and management boards at border gates to promptly handle difficulties and obstacles in exporting agricultural products. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development also proposed that the Ministry of Industry and Trade shall direct provinces and cities to create favorable conditions for smooth consumption of safe agricultural products from provinces affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Industry and Trade has asked businesses providing logistics services, warehousing and cold storage and shipping lines to support the preservation of goods and reduce preservation costs, especially for agricultural products that need special preservation techniques. It can be seen that during this pandemic outbreak, ministry and agencies have promptly sent out official departures with proposal and recommendation, avoiding passive handling and congestion of agricultural products due to the pandemic. Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic has also created many challenges for production, business, and consumption of agricultural products in the country and for export. However, the epidemic is also an opportunity for both producers and enterprises to find new approaches to their accessing partners and customers, ensuring epidemic prevention and avoiding logistical congestion.
Ladies and gentlemen and friends, in the past few days, the weather in Tay Ninh has been very uncomfortable. During the day, it's the hot and sunny, and in the evening, there are often heavy rain and thunderstorms. In such a situation, soldiers on duty as the COVID-19 epidemic prevention and control post face even more difficulties. In order to share difficulty and timely encourage the soldiers to prevent the epidemic, many Tay Ninh people have returned to the border with a loss of affection.
The COVID-19 prevention and control post of Glogor Border Guard Station, Tân Biên District, is set up in the middle of the forest, and currently there are many posts that do not have electricity or fresh water on site, and the necessities are shipped from outside every week. Soldiers on duty and patrolling at night face many difficulties. The temporary tarpaulins do not prevent insects and rainstorms. Previously, 2 weeks ago, I asked for permission to go home for 1 or 2 days, but from now I stay on time at night and don't come home. The electricity and water are not available here. This season is in the rainy season, and storms often blow the roof of the shelter. But the weather difficulties are no meaning to the complicated epidemic development outside. The soldiers were determined to close the soccer trails at the border to prevent illegal border crossing. Since COVID epidemic became complicated again from the beginning of April until now, the pandemic prevention and control posts have increased their numbers and also increased patrol turns to ensure the safety of the border. Soldiers on duty at the post include soldiers, police, and military and self-defense forces to localities. We overcome difficulties by ourselves from the day to the epidemic until now. We have not been home for several months. In order to share difficulties and timely encourage the soldiers to prevent the pandemic, many Tay Ninh people have looking forward to the border with a lot of sympathy. Recently, some teachers, along with some young people and some small businesses in Tay Ninh province, have connected with each other to a strong social network, joined hands in mobilizing donations for humanity and material resources to support each other for the front line. In just 1 week, the group contributed and mobilized an amount of money and goods totaling about 180 million Vietnam dong to buy medicine, mineral water, food, insect repellent, and some other items to offer to 60 anti-epidemic checkpoints and located in 2 districts of Tân Biên and Tân Châu. Hung Duy Company Limited also participated in contributing goods and supporting trucks to deliver goods to the checkpoints along with the delegation. The old people, young people, civil servants, public servants, small traders, and farmers, housewives all look forward to the border light with warm year-end feelings. After hearing about the outbreak of the pandemic, our in-out groups discussed with each other. Within a week, the friends in and outside the province have contributed to make a trip like this. I appeal mainly through social network and my friends. When I visit you, I see that your life here is so difficult. The soldiers faced the risks of diseases. Life was not full, and their tasks were very heavy. And also in the delegation to visit soldiers, there are many people who have come to the border many times to support the soldiers. After each return, the love from the rear of the border is more fully cultivated, and people are more aware of their common responsibilities. And the recent pictures also made us feel very warm. The warm affection from the rear will definitely motivate the soldiers to go complete the mission well.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for TTV News today. Thank you for joining with us and see you next time.